I like this topic very much because it really touched my heart, because I believe that a lot of people would need the knowledge of this topic. Should I, for example, like, should I withdraw my KWSP or not? Then should I continue to pay my car loan or wait for another 6 months? What about home loan? What should I do? And also this morning I was because I own a few premises, so I was like, I'm about to, and I was about to, but I haven't, to ask whether can they reduce the maintenance and also sinking fund for a period of time. I'm not sure whether it's workable or how is it. Then after that, I know that the market is very, very, very bad, because when I chit chat with one of my mentor, he just shared with me that what I can see now, the share market is very active, is all due to the local investor. Meaning that I'm trying to adjust the computer. So where should I put my head? I couldn't see my. Where is the camera? Okay, never mind. So all are local investor, and also majority of the international investor no longer here. So meaning that so for the share market, it still remain at not so stable. The reason why, because we are fully on the internal circulation share at all. So meaning that, so for those who want to venture into share market, so please make sure you have to have extra careful. Don't think of to get the short term touch and go. So that would not be the right time. And on top of that, so there are several discussion with various government department on different type of project. Stay tuned with us. And not only that, for those in the area of HR, so we hope, if everything's okay, we hope that our software for the, not software, our subscription for to help the HR from the recruitment until exit point should be ready by latest by August. But unfortunately, we couldn't launch it as normal. So we will think of what are the methods we are going to launch it. Stay tuned with us. So then I think we should start in 1 or 2 minutes time. So let me introduce to you Mr. Shankar. Mr. Shankar graduated from University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, with a degree in accounting, minor in economics in the year of 1983. His vast work experience in finance and management has taken him through an audit, taxation, finance and accounting, and has worked for most of his career in multinational involved in the large-scale manufacturing, in particular the electronic sector. He also embarked on a journey of communication and leadership through Toastmasters International, has joined others in ineffective communication, supervisory skill, lean manufacturing, risk exposure, the internal external financial audit framework, team building, brainstorming activities, and others. He's also a chartered accountant with the Malaysian Institute of Accountant and also member of the Malaysian Institute of Management. So with this, I would like to invite Mr. Shankar to continue his presentation. So stay tuned with us. So thank you very much for joining this session. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Dato. Very good morning to all of the participants, and especially to Dato, Humanology and CBMRA for giving me the opportunity to come and do this little presentation for all of you. I know that this one is going to be a bit of a challenge, because being an accountant by profession, I'm going to show you some numbers. Some people like numbers, some people, when they see numbers, they run away. I was like that at one time. I was never a fantastic person in mathematics. But over the years, I began to love numbers, because numbers always tell me a story. And for today, I have tried to put together a small package for all of you to review. And maybe with a little knowledge that I have about what is happening in the country right now, you might be able to use that information to an advantage, such that you can improve your own financial standing and you can chart the future ahead, at least for the rest of 2020, right? Now, if you're looking at slide one, you can see the big coronavirus there. And then I'm telling you about a financial recovery. This financial recovery is everybody's hope. We all hope that we can come out of the doldrums. And if I may quote my good friend Jeremy, I was listening to his speech a few days back, and he was talking about, our situation in the world right now is one of the most volatile, is one of the most challenging, and one of the most violent. You've got oil prices going up and down. You've got this COVID-19 breaking out. You've got lockdowns. Then you're looking at the companies operating after lockdown. Some have sunk. They will never come out of the water again. Some of them are almost drowning, hoping that they'll be rescued. Some are safe. Some relatively are still safe. And if you are one of those people in the career line, you could be wondering where you are going to go from here. I'm sure you're all worried. You're all concerned. Nobody is going to have the same kind of life that you had before COVID-19 and the MCO. After MCO over, now they have the CMCO. And even the CMCO is a problem because federal government says one thing and some state governments have a different opinion, right? But as far as that is concerned, forget about the politics part of it. Let's see where you stand in this whole picture and what you can do to recover your own financial standing. Now, going back to this first slide, you'll find a small red box. I think you're all wondering what this red box is for. Well, I will take the curiosity out of your minds and tell you that the expressions I have put inside here, all the opinions, all the numbers, all my simulations I've done to show you to arrive at your own conclusion are basically my own opinion. They are not advisory. I'm not telling you to follow me and do as I am telling you to do. I'm just telling you that these are the data you're supposed to look at and you decide what you want to do. I'm doing the best like a doctor telling you this particular medication, you take 2 tablets 3 times a day. If you want to take it, you're fine. If you're having side effects, don't. Okay, but don't blame your doctor for prescribing because your doctor's job is to make sure that you are well and recovered. Am I right? Okay, I am now going to go to the second slide, and this is me. This is a photograph of me that was taken like about a week ago. Unfortunately, I only listened to Winnie. Winnie's talk was about 2 days back, and she was talking about how I can lose 8 kilos in 8 days. But this is only after 2 days. So the portion below my folded arms is still quite big. So I could not show you my actual stomach. Let me work on it and see if I can bring my weight down and do something better. Winnie, are you on the call? If you are, thank you for your talk. I enjoyed it. And let's see what I can do in the next 1 week or so. This is my background. As Dato mentioned just now, I have a degree in accounting. My major is in accounting. My minor is in economics. I'm a chartered accountant with the Malaysian Institute of Accountants. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster. I've been a Toastmaster since 2008. It's been a very, very long time. I'm also currently a PSMB certified trainer. I got this certification 2 years after I retired. It was not while I was still working. After I retired, I was bored. I was wondering what to do. I said, okay, let's go and try a new career line. And I became a trainer. And today I am with Humanology, bringing this program to you. I'm also an M.I.M member since 1988. And I've been in the manufacturing line for 35 years. It's a very, very long time. I may be working in the manufacturing line longer than some of you have been born. I wouldn't be surprised. I love my flag behind me. I always have the Malaysian flag. I'm a proud Malaysian, definitely. And I'm a proud Rotarian. I don't know how many of you have heard of the word Rotary, but Rotary is a service organization. And one of the biggest benefactors is, of course, Bill Gates, who pumps billions into polio research. And the polio vaccines are actually coming out free of charge, thanks to Bill Gates, or rather Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, right? Now, today I'm going to touch on certain things about the government stimulus. Somewhere in March, we had the MCO coming in and the government said, okay, you guys are all going to have a tough time. You're going to suffer. But to help you all along, the government is going to give you some sweet candy. We're going to help you to make sure you don't get the impact of the lockdown, and we're going to make it better for you. We're going to give you incentives. Now, they give incentives to corporates. They give incentives to the individuals. Today, I am talking about you as the man in the street. I am not going to touch on SMEs because SMEs is out of my scope for today. There's a lot of things that I can talk about SMEs, but today I will leave it out. I want to talk about how you can use these benefits But before you can maximize the benefits, you must know whether it actually benefits you. Is it good for you? Like I said, even a doctor gives you medication, you may think, hey, I'm having side effects. I have a gastric problem. I'm having loose motion. I think I must stop this. So what I can only show you is the comparative numbers. It is for you to see and study and find out what suits your taste best. Like when you eat char kway teow, some of you want more prawns, some of you want more chili, some of you want more cockles. It's up to you. And incentives, everything has a positive point and comes with a negative point. If you're smart as me, I think most of you are, the government never gives you anything free without a catch. Okay, in one hand, they will give you something, in the other hand, they will try and take back. So this is the same with incentives. Of course, sad to say, the government never tells you what they're taking back. They only tell you what they're giving. So you think, oh, our government is very good, fantastic government. You have a new government with a new prime minister, new cabinet. Oh, good show, right? Let's see what they are doing for you. And of course, it is not the end of the world. I'm going to touch on a few strategies for you what you can do live post MCO. Now, please let me tell you this. If you think that it is going to be business as usual, my life will go back to normal, everything is going to be the same, I'm very sorry to tell you that you are in denial mode. Things will never be the same. Things will change. You will change. Your operating environment is going to change. Maybe even the food you eat is going to change. The places you go and shop is going to change. The only thing that won't change is maybe like in my case, my petrol. 2 weeks ago, I put petrol full tank, it is still there. That one never changed yet because I got nowhere to go. I'm sure many of you are still like that, but some of you have gone back to work, so good for you. Your petrol is actually being burnt up, right? And before I proceed, I just want to tell you if you have any questions, please drop a line. There's a chat box there. Either Dato or Dr. Vincent will compile all the chat questions. I will try to help you as much as possible. Certain things which I can't help you with, you may have to go back to your banks or your financial institutions, or in this case, maybe even EPF, and go and ask them for more guidance. It is your right. It is your right. Nobody can tell you, I can't tell you these numbers because it is your money, it is your loan. You have a right to know, right? Okay, let's move on. So I'm going to teach you how to get back on target. Along the way, you can take notes down. I got no worries. I got some slides with numbers. I'm not sure how you're going to do that, but you can take photographs. You can take a snapshot of the screen. You're most welcome. Nothing here is going to be of intellectual property. Okay, this is my course content. Prime Minister who announced certain incentives for you. Now, one of the key important things as Dato said. By the way, Dato just now he confessed that he's got a few properties, I never knew that he was actually having a few properties. Most of us, if we have one or two properties, we're very lucky. Dato indirectly confessed he's got a few. And now what has happened is after he has gone through my notes, he's getting some ideas. So I'm really happy to note that Dato has seen my materials and he has narrowed down the decision model to what he wants to do. And I hope the same way it has helped him, it's going to help you. Now, the loan moratorium, some of you may know about it, but I'm going to go deeper into it, what it really means for you and what it means for the bank. But let me tell you this. If you think the bank is going to give you a loan moratorium, 6 months, no need to pay back, and you think, wow, this bank is so good, they don't want me to pay back. Must be a really good bank, they are doing charity service. Let me tell you this, there is the catch to it. If you already know, I must congratulate you because you're smart. If you don't know, today you're going to find out why the banks are so happy to give you a moratorium and keep you hanging there for another 6 months. Another one, EPF. Everybody knows for 6 months from April, the statutory rate is going to come down from 11% for the employee to 7%. Less statutory rate simply means you take home more money. But is it really good? Is it really going to help you in the long run? Who is happier, you or EPF? Let's find out along the way. And finally, I'm going to show you some slides or some information on the Bantuan Prihatin Nasional. They have given some incentives. Not everybody can actually benefit. But if you can benefit, you may want to consider. If you don't take it, nobody is going to penalize you for it. But it is good for you to know what is being offered and what is there in the market so that you can capitalize on this as much as possible. And then life post MCO. What can you do beyond the MCO? In fact, I'm not even talking about being MCO. I'm talking about since this whole thing started, maybe in March, April, May, you're going to go to June, July, August, September. What are you going to do? Life goes on. Life doesn't end, right? But every day you go on, things are going to change. What are you going to do? What are you going to change about your life? What are you going to do about your spending habits? What are you going to do about the way you live, about the way you interact with people, the way you shop, the way you spend? Everything is going to change, right? We'll have a look at that. Like I said, it's all not advisory. It is just something that I have put together on my own, and I'm trying to share my own knowledge with you. Now, a brief summary of the moratorium. I think if you think that it is all the banks got together and said, hey, let's all the banks do some good service to all our account holders. Let's give them 6 months holiday. You're very, very wrong. The instructions came from Bank Negara. Now, when Bank Negara says sit, the banks will sit. When the Bank Negara says you stand, you stand. So Bank Negara is the one instructing them to give you a loan moratorium. How the loan moratorium works, I'm going to go into details. This is going back to the flashback of March 25th, 2020. It says 6 months automatic moratorium on all loans by individuals and SMEs except for credit cards. So if you are thinking you can take your credit card balances and tell them, look, I want to pay this back in 6 months. Please stretch it for me. I'm very sorry. It's not going to work. But not all is lost, because for credit cards, they have a special offer. There are a lot of people stuck with credit card loans. They don't know what to do. If you remember, or if you recall vaguely, credit card balances are charged at the rate of 1.5% per month on the outstanding balance. 1.5% per month times 12 is 18% per year. You don't even realize it, but that is how it accumulates. In Malay, there's a beautiful phrase, sedikit sedikit lama lama jadi bukit. By the time you look at your statement, oh my God, I got so much to pay, and you panic. You panic not knowing what to do. There is one feature for insurance policies. If you have not paid your insurance policies for a long time and they've gone on APL, and you're wondering, oh my God, what do I do in my insurance policy? I've not paid for 3 months. I've not paid for 6 months. Is my policy going to lapse? Well, there is a safety catch. Okay, your policy will not lapse provided you follow some guideline. Now, let's look at the first one here. I've given you a table. I hope all of you just follow me through the arrows. Don't go ahead and read something else which I'm not touching on, because then you will not be listening to me and then you may just lose track. Okay. Now going back, period in force is April 1st to September 30th, 2020. Some people thought April 1st must be an April Fool's joke. It is not a joke. It's real because the government announced it, but they picked April 1st. Fine, good. It is for 6 months until October 2020. Now, you may be wondering, April 1st, I never applied for it. What do I do? Sorry, as far as the banks are concerned, they will automatically convert your loan to a 6-month moratorium. You have no choice in the matter, which doesn't mean it's bad. It's just that the banks are following the instructions from Bank Negara. Bank Negara says convert everything from April 1st until September 30th, they will do it. Now, the funny thing is this. What happens if you come and ask me, hey, I just took my housing loan, in March. Now April, they're converting to a moratorium. Am I eligible? Yes. Even for new housing loans that exist as of 31st March, the banks are obliged to give you this moratorium, right? And it's going on to go for 6 months. That much on a macro level, you just bear it in your head. It is automatic. You don't have to do anything. The banks have to follow. Okay? Now, number two, what kind of loans are eligible? They say that housing loans are eligible. Okay, many of you have housing loans, whether you buy a shop lot or condominium, apartment. Yes, they're all eligible. Personal loans eligible, yes. Business loans for SME, for micro business credits, yes, they're eligible. Now for car hire purchase, they are eligible, but I put a small asterisk there. You know why? Because car hire purchases are actually under the purview of the Hire Purchase Act. There is a law that governs all car hire purchases. So when you go and buy a car, when you go and take a loan from the banks or the finance companies, they will give you a schedule that says this is the loan period, this is the amount of the loan you're taking, and you're supposed to pay back so many installments over so many periods, starting with this first month is so much, and the last month is so much. I think some of you would have seen that sheet of paper. It comes in I think 3 or 4 ply paper, not mistaken. No? But because this is under the purview of the Hire Purchase Act, what really happens is that schedule must be changed because your final payment is going to change, your monthly payment is going to change. So the banks will actually honor the moratorium, but you have to go to the bank and get that piece of schedule payment changed. That is all you have to do. If you find going to the bank is very much difficult for you to do, maybe call the bank officer. They might come and see you sometimes. Just give them a call, no harm done. Or you just take some time off, go to the bank and tell them, look, I want to change it. Please give me the paperwork and proceed with it. But whether you want it or not is a different matter entirely. I'm going to come to that. Whether you want to extend, everybody wants to pay their car loans faster. I still remember, every time I buy a car, I take a 5 or 6 year loan. The happiest moment of owning that car is when I pay my last installment, right? So I look forward to the day I'm going to pay the last installment. And then suddenly, in this case, the bank comes and tells you, Naman, I extend it for you. You can pay another 6 months later. Whether you're going to be happy about it or not, I don't know. But personally, I'll be happy to pay it sooner. But we will look at the numbers later. Now, the details is this. Basically, it excludes the credit cards. Credit cards are not actually included under this extension period. But the good news is this. Instead of charging you 18% per year, the government has said you can extend it for the 6 months. No, sorry, you can extend it for 1 year. But your interest is going to be kept at 13% per year. Not 18%, 13%. But if you really look at it, even 13% is not cheap. It is going to be expensive. But the thing is this, you don't have money to pay. When you don't have money to pay, what do? You have to incur the interest. So you have to decide what you want to do. Take the extension or force yourself to go and break your piggy bank or borrow from somebody and pay it off. It's a different story. I will come to it. I've got numbers to show you. For me, I'm a number person. The numbers always tell me a story, and I love it because numbers don't lie. Okay, unless they're manipulated, lah. Now the application process. Nothing to do. April 1st until April 30th, you have nothing to do. The bank has already done it. Today is the 8th of May. If you did not apply for the moratorium, well, I got good news for you. The bank has done it for you. Now, you don't want to ask the bank why they did it, because they got instructions from Bank Negara. You don't want them to go and fight Bank Negara. So, they have already done it for you. There is nothing for you to do. Okay, so it's going to run for 6 months from April until October, 6 months, right? Now, what happens if you come and tell me, hey, I never asked for this, I never agreed. Who asked Bank Nagar to come and extend my loan? I don't want it, I want to pay, it's normal. Well, the good news is this, you have an option to decline the moratorium. How? You have to go to the bank. You have an option. If you did not do this in April, it's May. Go ahead and do it. Go to the bank. Sorry, this you have to go to the bank. There are some forms to fill up. I'm not sure how difficult the forms are. Go and ask them. Different banks may do it differently. Yeah? You have CIMB Bank, you got RHB, you have Hong Leong. Go and ask them. Go and ask them. They may have different internal procedures. You can decline the offer. If the bank says, sorry, Bank Nagara said cannot decline, you please ask them to show you the memo from Bank Nagara to say that you cannot decline. You can decline. Customer is king. This is your loan. The banks cannot stretch you longer than you want to pay. So you just go and tell the bank, I don't want the moratorium. I want to go back to the normal way of paying, and I can proceed. Now the bank will always come and tell you, sir, madam, why you like that? The bank is giving you 6 months holiday. Take it, lah. Good for you. Well, like I said earlier, everything comes with a price. Nothing is free. If you stretch it, the bank is happy because they can keep you for another 6 months on their loan package. Am I right? The longer the bank keeps you on their loan package, the happier they are. If you ever go and refinance your property with a banker, which bank is going to say no to you? Everybody wants. For example, you take a 30-year loan. After 20 years, your property value goes up. You go to the bank and say, hey, I want to refinance my property. After 20 years, I've been paying you. My account is good. My value has gone up. For the difference in the loan amount that's outstanding and my current value of my property, I want to take more money. I want to go on holidays. I want to go for education planning. I want to go to a second degree. My kids want to get married. It's up to you. The bank will say, oh, yes, please, mari duduk. You want to have coffee ka? You want nasi lemak ka? Roti canai? They want to keep you. Sorry, this is the way I see it. They want to keep you as a slave to the bank. Okay, the banks will never tell you this. They want to keep you there as long as they want, because for 30 years you're going to be paying your loan. Even the bank officer who processed the loan for you, maybe pension already, that guy would have gone. The bank would have changed management, but you are still a customer and you still utang the bank. Okay? Still utang the bank. Now, ineligibility clause. This is the clause that came from Bank Negara that says that if you have any loans in areas more than 90 days, as of 31st March, you cannot apply for the moratorium, or not even apply because it's automatic, right? The bank will not process the moratorium for you. Now, if you know why 90 days, it's good. If you don't know, I will tell you. 90 days is a threshold period for your account to be classified as a non-performing loan. In Malay, they call it hutang lapuk, not mistaken. Hutang lapuk, they're worried. They are worried that if you don't pay for 90 days, chances are you're not going to pay beyond 120 days, you won't pay beyond 150 days, you won't pay beyond 180 days. This is a warning sign to say, if you don't pay for 90 days as of 31st March, I'm not going to let you not pay the bank for another additional 6 months. Somebody came and asked me, hey, I didn't pay for 3 months. Can I still get the moratorium? I said, you must be crazy, man. You didn't pay for 3 months and you think the bank is going to come and tell you, never mind, you're my good customer. You took a 30-year loan. Never mind. Some more 6 months not to pay. You come and pay me in October, no problem. Which bank is going to do that? So if you have a loan in areas that is more than 90 days as of 31st March, very, very sorry. Or it may be good that you have the areas, because if you want the moratorium, you must go to the bank and clear that balance first. So that is the condition. You can still get it. You can still apply, but you must clear all your utang first. Okay, if you don't clear the utang, the bank is not going to expose itself and say, never mind, you come, I am going to give you more money. Unfortunately, I don't want to use this as a good example, but it's a very bad example. GLC different. You have one of those GLCs losing money, they go to the bank, they'll have to give more money because somebody is influencing the banks to give more money to a company that's already losing money. But you are not a GLC. You are just an individual, a man on the street who's working very hard to make ends meet and bring home money to the family so the family can live well and you have a good future ahead. The bank will not tolerate anything beyond more than 90 days. End of story. Right? Now, what happens if you think about this part? I did not take the moratorium period when it was in 1st of April. So now April already gone. Now it's May. May I can't decide. Let me think about it. I must ask my wife, must ask my father-in-law, must ask my mother-in-law. Okay, I can't decide. Maybe I will take it in June. Maybe only June I want to decide. You can. If you don't take it in April and you decide to decline in May, and then in June you want to take it up again, the good news is at least the bank I spoke to, they said you can. I'm not supposed to tell you which bank I spoke to. Then you say I said so during my talk to you today, and it's being recorded on top of it. So there is one bank that told me you can even come after that April, you can come in May, you can come in June. Yes. Now, the good news is this. If you want to extend 6 months from June, that means you're going to go past October, maybe until December. If you want to, The bank said that they would consider case by case. Now, when I say case by case, there are certain things that will be considered. Number one, how much of money you're having with the bank. Are you having a business account with them? Are you having good transaction history with them? Are you have a habit of not issuing rubber checks and bounce checks? Your payment is good. You got a healthy payment, huh? And then maybe on the side business you are having credit cards with them, and your credit card spending is healthy, because banks make money through how you spend your credit cards. They make through the merchants. They'll charge it at the merchant. You only pay the merchant that particular price, but from the merchants banks make money. They look at other factors. And of course, other thing is, to be tell you the truth, you will not believe this, is whether the bank people there, they like you. Are you a person who's kind-hearted? Are you a person who speaks nicely to them? If you're a person who comes there who are very aggressive, you yell at them, you shout at them, you say, "Hey, I'm the boss, I'm the customer, I want good treatment from you." Sorry, huh? If you have $2 or $3 million in the bank, you can do it. But most of us don't have that kind of money. So sometimes if the bank likes you, the officers like you, they will find ways of helping you out. Now, just to take a quick diversion, just to let you know about how I built my relationship with the bank. The bank did a fantastic job. The one I deal with, I got two or three banks. One bank I deal with, they did a really good job before all this crisis happened, and my investments all went up. I was very happy. This is last year, basically, yeah. And it just happens that this bank, the officer and the manager, they're all next to Subway sandwich. Okay, so I parked my car near Subway sandwich, and what happened was, I said, "Hey, these guys are doing a good job. It is their job to service me, but what can I do for them to like me and for them to do more for me?" So that day, I parked my car at Subway sandwich, and I was looking inside the window, and I saw this big jar of cookies. They got this white chocolate chip cookies and dark chocolate chip cookies and all that. So I thought, hey, maybe I should just buy some cookies for them. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that day, when I gave the cookies to these three staff, the three of them, one of the account officers, one of the manager, one more a counter clerk, I tell you, their face changed. And the manager told, "Hey, my customer, not one person has ever bought me anything in my life, and you're bringing cookie for me. I'm the first," they said. Okay, but they will like you. If a bank likes you, I tell you, they will do many, many things. Even if they can't help you, they will tell you nicely they can't help you. In a manner that when you go back, you don't feel so bad. You're happy, okay, the guy can't help me, useless bank lah, tapi never mind. He didn't tell me rudely, he was kind to me. Sometimes they give you free gift lah. They give you one diary ka, calendar ka, never mind, you take care and come. So relationship with the bank also makes a difference, right? Now, finally, insurance premium. Insurance premium, some people have a problem. Very often, you have to pay your insurance premiums to make sure your policy is enforced. If your policy is not enforced, what happens is, if anything happens to you, there are two things. They will deduct all the money that you utang, then only pay the claim. And one more thing, they don't tell you, when they deduct all the money you utang, there's an interest cost there. Okay, how the interest works is different. Different policies, different companies, what kind of risk factors you have. Okay, I don't know. They will do a lot of things. Insurance companies, I will tell you one thing. To collect your money, very happy. Premium comes every month, they're very happy. When you're going to buy a new policy, the guy will come and chase you until you buy a policy. And sometimes you buy a policy just to get the fella out of your house. Okay, I said, I can't keep taking this guy every week. He's calling me. Okay, I'll buy your policy, get lost, finished. When it comes to a payout, they will give you hell. They'll ask you 1,001 questions. If you've ever made an insurance claim like I have done, the forms will kill you. Not accident or illness, the forms itself will take the life out of you. So make sure you always pay your premiums correctly on time. There is an exclusion under the moratorium, but they say you can delay your payments until this year. So if there's any reason for you to delay your payments until the end of 2020, apparently the insurance company cannot come and tell you, "Oh, you've not paid your insurance, we're going to potong all your premiums." They can't do that. Only for this year, by the way, until December. Beyond that, sorry, no more. Now, the big question comes in now. Going back to the moratorium part, just now Dato also now thinking whether you should take the moratorium or not. Let's look at a few numbers for a change. Huh? Some of you, when you see numbers, you get scared, but let's look at this particular set of numbers. Again, I put them in red is for illustration. These numbers I got from one bank. I can't tell you which bank. They gave me a model. I'm using the model and put the numbers in, right? So let's assume the interest rate is about 3.8%. Even this interest rate, I'm told it varies. It varies on your earning power. It varies on based on your credit portfolio. It varies based on your other commitments. All those things. There's a big questionnaire they fill up and they give you a variation. Okay, I can give you 3.75, 3.8, 3.9. It varies. It varies. Let's assume for simplicity's sake your property value is 500K and the loan taken is 90%. Most people for a new property, you can take up to 90% of the loan. If it's a sub-sale, it will drop to maybe 80, 75, it depends. In this case, I've taken a repayment period of 30 years. I think 30 years is quite okay. If you're going to work till 60, you take your first housing loan at 30, you can pay till you're 60 years old. Of course, nothing like paying off earlier. Nothing like paying off earlier, but sometimes you just want to stretch it as long as you can and see how you can tahan lah. So the loan repayment over 30 years, it works at about 2097, and the total amount to pay over 30 years is 754. It's basically 30 years times 12 times 2097 comes to 754. Now 754, the interest factor is 300K, because it's compounded on the principal and then on the interest as well. And I'm just giving us an example. 31st March, you have a balance there. 6 more years. After paying for 6 years, you have 150K you've already paid, and the balance is now 603. So from your 754 minus the 150, you get a 603. And I'm just going to show you this number here. As this 288 is basically the number of months you have left to pay. And then every month you're going to pay 2097. 1 second, let me check this number. Okay, so this 288 is based on 24 years. So you took a 30-year loan, you've paid off 6 years, right? You paid off 6 years just now, so now you've got another 24 years. And then every month you don't pay any money anymore. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Happiness! You got 2097 in the hand for 6 months and nothing to pay. And you think the bank is going to give you free money for nothing. You are totally wrong. Because when it comes to October, your balance is going to go to 615. How the 615 happens, just to tell you, or what the banks don't tell you, is interest is compounded monthly based on the outstanding amount. You're not paying interest on the interest, you're paying interest on the principal that is outstanding at the beginning of the month. So you are paying interest on the 603. So at the end of 6 months, you're going to go up from 603 to 615 total. But you will pay less a bit because you're stretching it from 288 months to 294 months. Now, immediately you may think, hey, this is no good. The bank is cheating me. They're taking more money out of me. Hold on. Like I said, there are always two sides to everything. On one side, it looks bad. But on one more side, it may be helpful to you. Let me explain as I proceed further. So this is your total repayment. You're going to pay back 6.5427 because the reason interest is compounded on the principal. So this is an observation just to understand. It goes on extra 6 months. Your repayments are frozen. You don't pay anything here. So basically, theoretically, you have 2097 for 6 months to play around. You can use this money in a very constructive way. Your new installments from 2020 is going to be this figure 2093. Just keep this number at the back of your head. Don't panic yet. Don't panic. If you're in this situation, don't panic, because I'm going to show you another model whereby you are a good person and you pay your money every month. So this is like nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Let me take this figure out first. Nothing has changed. So you got 603,881 every month, like budak bagus. You go to the bank or you do auto transfer, you got auto debit, and you pay off this 2097 every month for 6 months. And what happens is after 6 months, your balance is how much? 591. It's gone down. Why? because you did not take the moratorium. Now, if you took the moratorium only in May, then basically you're going to change by just 1 month. Not a problem, not a problem. But you see, what happens is from 288 months you owe earlier, now you only going to pay 282 because you have paid off 6 months. So on one hand, not only you owe the bank less, you also pay faster. The other model shows that you actually paid longer. So this is where the real difference comes in. On one hand, if you don't take the moratorium, you have a smaller bank balance and you pay off faster. If you take the moratorium, you're going to have a bigger balance, but you actually pay off longer. So there is a small factor to play around with. So you may actually start wondering, do I really need to take the moratorium? Or I don't need to take the moratorium? I will take you deeper one level. I'm going to take you deep diving today, until you're going to really wonder, what the hell am I doing? How come the banks are like this? Wait, we'll get to it. So if you don't take the moratorium, you must apply to the bank to decline. Your monthly payments will not change, but your balance here will change. If you have avoided additional financing costs, like I told you, you don't pay any interest, compounded interest on your principal and your balance, loan balance, and it is business as usual. Now, one good thing about this, if you have money, nothing is going to change. That means what? Every month I'm paying 2097. Whether I take the moratorium or not, I'm going to pay 2097. So as far as your financial situation is concerned, nothing is going to change. But if you need the money, now this is where the real problem comes in. The moratorium is good for people who are actually taking the moratorium because they got big shortages in money, they got a lot of loans to pay, they don't know where the money is going to come from, they do not know how to settle the bills, they're cracking their head, their hair is falling out, and this is where this thing can come into the picture to compare. How do you actually stand? Okay, I'm going to give you again, just look at the arrows first. With the moratorium, the loan period is extended for 294 months, and here it just stays on at 288. Your repayment ceases for 6 months. For the other one without moratorium, it goes on as normal. The payment of the principal, there's no change. Deferred interest, yes, you will have interest on interest. It goes into the post moratorium period. Monthly payments will change. One side you pay less, one side you pay more. There's a new balance because one side you're paying faster, and then your balance end of October is less. The other one, of course, you accumulates. Now, some of you may not know what MRTA and fire policy is about. Now, let me explain. MRTA is mortgage reducing term insurance. The bank, any bank, when you you buy a property on loan, what really happens is this: who owns the property when you buy a bank? Have you ever thought about it? You think you own the property? The property is owned by the bank because you have charged the property to the bank. Now, what happens is you are staying in the house, and one fine day after 5 years, you're no more around. You are no more around. You're no more going to pay the loans. Your wife is not going to take on your responsibility, right? So the bank, to protect itself, will ask you to go and take a mortgage reducing term insurance on your life, so that if anything happens, the bank gets its money back. Otherwise, what's going to happen is the bank will become an owner of your house, and the bank has got no time to be going into property business. Okay, the bank doesn't have time for that. So what happens is they'll force you to go and take an MRTA. Fire policy is to protect the policy. Normally, all this is under you. You have to pay for it. Now, there is no reprieve on 6 months. You can't come and tell, I don't pay the loan for 6 months, so I don't have to renew my insurance policy for 6 months. Very, very sorry. MRTA goes on because even though you don't pay the loan for 6 months, something can happen to you in the 6 months. Okay, that's a big problem. If the bank gives you a holiday of the payment, and suddenly one fine day the bank calls you and you don't answer your phone because you're no more around, it's a big problem for the bank. So you must continue with the MRTA policy. In a brief comparison, this is the pro and the con. You decide yourself. I'm not telling you any advice here, please. I must keep stressing this. I'm not giving you any advice. It is for you to decide, because only you know your own personal financial commitments and how you want to proceed. 6 months is automatic. Deferred payments can help you to pay other payments. I'll come to it in a minute. There is no cost. Okay, if you think, oh, if I extend for 6 months, I got to pay the bank some money. No, the bank is already making enough money out of you. Huh? If you want to decline, you must apply, but the money that you don't pay to the bank must be used properly with good discipline. Okay, doesn't mean I got $2,000 extra a month. I'm not going to do shopping. Oh, sorry. Bad move, huh? Bad move. Oh, I can renovate my house. Well, not so good. Don't spend the money, but use that money to pay off other loans and other commitments. And finally, the thing is that you're going to have more interest cost to service. And don't forget this part. I always put the risk of floating base lending rates. The good news is right now the base lending rates are going down because the market is bad. But if you're pegged to the base lending rate, then what happens is your payments will go up. You cannot come and tell the bank, hey, when I took the bank rate, I was 3.8. How come after October you went to 3.9? Sorry, that is how Bank Negara operates. You cannot come and tell last time was 3.8, I want it back at 3.8 in October. It is not going to work. Okay? If you don't believe me, you can ask the bank. All of you are good. Yeah, if you go to the bank or anything, please take some cookies from Subway sandwich. Huh? It will help to lessen the damage when you're going to ask them questions. Hmm? Now you're wondering, what do I do? Huh? Take it, don't take it. If I take it, what will happen? If I don't take it, what will happen? I tell you, I had the same problem, wondering how to advise people or how to show numbers to people. And then finally, I realized this is one of the best examples I can show you. Now, this is called a debt snowballing chart. If you've never heard of a debt snowballing chart, well, this is the first time you're going to see one. But just keep it in mind. Huh? Just keep it in mind. I'm going to give you an example of a loan where the four loans here. You've got a home loan at 3.8%, you have a car loan at 3.25%, personal loan 5%, and credit card at 1.5% a month. And every month you're paying $5,000 on this, plus this, plus this, plus this, plus this. Okay, $5,000. And now what has happened is the bank comes and tells you, oh, you don't have to pay me for 6 months. So essentially what happens is for 6 months you don't have to pay your housing loan. But how can you use this 5,000? So this is my way of recommending that you do. Assuming you're paying for $500 here every month for your credit card because you ran this figure. $10,000 is your spending. Huh? All this is your work. You spend and now you find problems spending this. Okay, fine. So what you might want to do is put 4,500 in addition to this 500. So the first month you take this 5,000 you have saved in the first month and put it here. Second month, take the next 5,000 you have saved and put it here. You look at the ones that are costing you the most. Okay, this 1.5 per month, this 5% per annum, this is more expensive. So you have to prioritize your loan, the cost of your loan. Take the first 10,000, pay off here. The next 5,000 comes off here. Then leaving behind 3 more months, back off here. So what's happened is with the $5,000 you have saved on the 6 months payment each, you have settled 3 loans. Leaving behind after 6 months just one home loan with the 360 that you started off with. Of course, you will incur some interest. Yeah, I agree with you. But from 4 loans, you're now down to just one. And I can tell you one thing for sure. When you go to bed at night to sleep, you'll be a very happy person. Provided you have the discipline. You must have the discipline. I keep telling people, you want to handle finances, you want to do something, but actually you're going to do something else. I'm very sorry. Nobody can save you. So take the moratorium and save the most costly loans first. Then you settle a second most pressing one, settle car loan. This is just an idea. It depends on how much loan breakdown you have in different areas. If you decide, look, I want to pay off my car. I hate paying for my car for 9 years. So some people take car loans for 9 years. You know that, isn't it? What, 9 years? After 9 years, my car is not even worth what I bought it for. I agree with you. Cars depreciate very fast. You may say, no, man, I want to pay off my car loan. Fine. It's okay. I'm only telling you, use the discipline to reduce the number of loans you have. Okay, and stick with it. Stick with it, and I tell you, you'll be almost financially free. If you only, by the time of 1 year or 2 years, you only have a housing loan to pay, you're a very lucky person. Most people have more than the housing loans to pay, right? Try to minimize your exposure to loans, right? Now, finally, I want to talk to you about EPF. Now, EPF seems to be somebody giving big gifts lah. Okay. Now let me tell you this. Earlier I mentioned it again. I'm telling you, don't worry about the chart. I'm going to explain to you every line. Nothing seems to be as good as it looks in the first place. When you look at it deeper and deeper and deeper, it comes with a catch. Now look at the first one. They're going to bring down your statutory rate from April 1st to September 30th from 11% a month to 7% for 6 months. Now, first of all, when you bring a statutory rate down, what is the meaning of a statutory rate? It is a rate that is enacted in the EPF ordinance. I forget what year it is. It is there. Okay, that means you have to pay 11% or you have to pay 7%. The moment they change this statutory rate, you are obliged to pay the 7%. Without you doing anything, you pay 7%. April 1st for 6 months, you are paying 7%. That's it, no choice. Or is there a choice? Well, there is a choice. I will come to it. Number two, do you have to apply for this reduction? No, everybody gets it. Everybody is downgraded from 11 to 7%. Right on, it just goes on for 6 months. But if you come and tell me, hey, I never asked to reduce, I want to keep at 11%. Why this government go and ask me to bring it down? Well, you can. You can go back to the 11%, but you got to fill up a form. You see, the funny thing about our government is everything nak pakai satu borang lah. Borang A satu, borang A, B satu, you keep on going like that. Now, this is the form which I found on the EPF website. You can download it. Unfortunately, I do not see any way you can do this online. Everything is supposed to be going online, but the forms are still manual because the EPF still believes in your thumbprint. After all these years, they still want to see your thumbprint, and you have to go personally and see one lady there and explain. It's a nuisance sometimes, but they're kind lah. They're quite helpful. They're quite helpful. Even when it comes to taking your money out, they're quite helpful. Now, this is one interesting question I want to pose to you. Can you give more than 7% or more than 11%? Now, for this particular case, the answer is yes. And I want to share with you my own experience. When I was working, we all have salary increments. Every year, the salary will go up by a few percent, maybe 5%, 6%, 7%. But when you look at the increment on your salary, if that money is not used properly, what will happen is you will spend it. Normally, the bonus you will spend doesn't matter. But your salary increments, what I used to do is, okay, my salary increment has gone up by so much. I work it backwards and say, okay, I am going to put more money into EPF. And until the time I retired, I recollect that I was paying up to 18% a year for at least 10 years, the last 10 years, 18%. Okay. Now, I am told you can even put 20% if you want. You can even put 30%, but don't go and put so much of money in EPF until you can't take out the money, because you cannot take out the money until 55, and then now it's going to be 60. Put an additional portion as a forced saving that you want, because that money that you go and put in EPF is not like your ATM machine. You cannot suka-suka go to the EPF, put your ATM card, punch number and take out money. It doesn't work that way. It's a nuisance. So when it becomes difficult to take money out, you will force yourself to save it. Trust me. And EPF is guaranteed by the government. Your money will never disappear. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be safe. Just nominate your worries, nominate your nominees. make sure that the latest information is there. Many people who are single, they'll put, I want all my money to go to my mother. After they are married, they forget to go and change. Then they have a wife who wants your money. Then the mother-in-law also fighting because she also wants your money. Solve the problem lah. Solve the problem. Go and say, okay, mother-in-law, don't put mother-in-law. Mother-in-law, different story. Wife and mother or father is okay. Put lah. Some for the children, if they are minors, means they're under 18, they can't get money. Just be careful. Go to EPF. Sometimes they'll advise you how to do it. If you're a Muslim, you got to follow your faraid system. I'm not very familiar, but please find out exactly how you can do it. Put more for saving. It is your money. And don't forget, EPF will pay you the money. They're going to pay you dividends, right? Now, this thing about the monthly withdrawal offer, the government has come up with a fantastic idea. Anybody under 55 can withdraw up to 500 ringgit maximum from account number 2. Minimum 50, yeah? I didn't put the minimum here. You can take out 50 until 500. You can do it monthly. You can do it after every other month. Up to you. You can do it regular. You can schedule your withdrawal. It's up to you. How to do it? You go to this website here, this link. I Lastari, and you fill up. This one is online. You don't have to go inside there. Now this is from account number 2. You must remember how much money you got inside there. You take out $500 for 12 months. It's going to be $6,000. Then you only got $4,000 there. Pochi problem. Don't take out more. Government won't give you free money. You can only take out maximum until what you got there. The money will come 1 month after you apply. And I understand that the last month you can apply is March next year. So basically, they're giving it to you for 12 months from April. If every month you don't take this money, it's fine. Nobody's going to force you to take the money out. Nobody will come and tell you, oh, you didn't take the money out, I'm going to give it back to you. No, they will not do it. You must apply to take your money out. Now, this is the stress point. This is not government's money. This is your money. The government is giving you a chance to take out your money, which is your future. I'm going to show you one chart later to see how this is going to impact you 20 or 30 years down the road. Now, this is the constraint. Minimum 50, maximum 500. Up to the maximum you have in account number 2. Account number 1 is for retirement. You cannot take out from your account number 1. Account number 2 is for your housing, education, illness, car, papa 2 is account number 2. Housing. Taking housing loan is from your account number 2. You want to take money out from your account number 2 to reduce housing balance? Boleh. You can. But there are some rules you have to go and ask EPF about it. So the thing is it a good idea to keep the revised contribution, or is it good to take out $500 a month? I'm sure everybody's wondering, hey, is it good? Do I take the 7% reduction, or do I keep the 11%? Do I take out 500 bucks every month, or do I take out less? What do I do? Government is giving me a chance to take money out. I don't have to wait till 55, Sounds good, Offhand, it sounds good. I don't have to wait till 55 to take out my money. I can take it out now. But is there a price to pay? Which way to go? I'm confused. Okay, let's look at it. The impact, again, illustration. Everything I'm going to show you is only illustration. Now, let's assume, let me go back a bit. Let's look at this particular part. Every month you're getting $10,000 salary. If you're earning less, you just replace the figures. Okay, EPF 11% and EPF 10%. So what's going to happen is this difference here is about $400. For 6 months, total is 2004. EPF normally pays you annual. At monthly they calculate, but they pay you only once a year. But is it good? Okay, let's see what happens. Let's say EPF dividend average, tembak, 6%. Over 20 years, the impact of this $2,400 rolled forward compounded is $7,000. I'm only looking at the difference in the contribution rate between 7% and 11%. I'm not even talking about taking your money out yet. I'm just looking at the rates. What happens if I do the same thing for 30 years? Now you see where your number goes. It's $13,000. It's a bit more than this. It's not exactly. If you take 2/3 here and 1/3 here and add on, it's more because it's compounding. So think about it. If I don't take out, this is the extra you're going to get. If I don't take out, this is the extra I'm going to get. But the extra is after 30 years. Extra is after 20 years. Can I wait till then? Do I need the money now? So basically, what happens between 11 and 7% is basically you take home a bit more salary, right? When you bring down the 4%, you take home a bit more salary. But I want to warn you, if you know the tax law in the country, the maximum threshold for EPF and insurance is 6,000 ringgit a year on your relief. That means before they look at the cukai pendapatan, they call it chargeable income, they give you up to $6,000 relief. If you're already getting 6,000 and you bring the rate down from 11 to 7%, you are coming down to maybe 5,007. Example, just rough numbers. That means you're not hitting 6,000, you're only hitting 5,007. Which means when they do the tax calculation, you are going to be charged extra on the $300. Okay, that one no one tells you. It's not very much lah. It's not very much if you're going to calculate on the chargeable income. But the real thing is that it's going to be a tax impact. Okay, be careful of your tax position. If you're already paying like 6,005 for insurance and EPF, even after you cut, it's still going to be like 6,001. Then it's no point. You're already maxed out. Even if you max out, then the only complication is to decide whether you want to take the money at, this is the amount you're going to forego. You're going to forego over 20 years and forego over 30 years. It's just like $10,000 I'm working. If the money is less, of course, it will be less. But it's just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Now, this is a more interesting version of what I want to show you. Let's say you take a case one. Case one, the assumption is this: you are taking a monthly salary of $10,000 a month for 12 months, because this one is going to go on for 12 months. Your withdrawal is over 12 months. At 7% for 6 months, you are actually taking out 4,002. Then at actually 11% for 6 months, you are contributing 6,006 here. So the total contribution of EPF for 1 year is 10,008. But you are taking out 12 months at 500 is 6,000. So when you take 10,008, you put into EPF over 1 year, then you take out the $6,000 over 1 year, your net contribution is only 4,008. 4,008 is basically 4% contribution on your side. You're not even paying your 7%, you're not paying your 11%, you're paying only 4% because you're taking the money out and you took the option to reduce your EPF contribution rate. And finally, over 30 years, this is the impact. This is another variation. You don't touch the contribution. I keep at 11%. I keep at 11%, but I still take out. Then your contributions will be about 41K. This is the best one. This is the best one now. You don't reduce and you don't take out. Then this is your future value of your money in EPF growth over 30 years. Now, I'm not saying what is right. I'm not saying what is wrong. You have to go and work out your own financial details and you decide what you want to do. Very quickly, I want to go to the BPN, the Bantuan Perkhidmatan Nasional. I think most of you know about the B40. B40 is bottom 40, M is middle 40. They're going to give you all some money. If you have not applied in April, you can still apply in May. Please go to the Lembaga Hasil website. All the forms are there. They're going to give you some reduction in your Tenaga bill. I don't know to what extent it's going to work, but for my own house, they're going to give me 2% because my bill is like 150 ringgit a month. So the 2% is almost nothing for me. You can take out PRS money. This is your private retirement scheme. You can take out. Normally for private retirement scheme, if you take out within the first year, there's a small charge they charge you, but they're giving you without any penalty from April until December this year. Private retirement scheme, if you're looking at your tax calculation, there is a separate limit of $3,000 on your PRS. PRS is very good. I got money in PRS. I have not taken the money out. They give good distribution, good dividends. And this one is actually operated by the government. So I would suggest that you look at the PRS. For civil servants, this I must tell you a story. My wife is a government pensioner, so government pensioners got 500 ringgit. So the day I was telling her, you are a pensioner, you don't go to work, you're already getting normal pension. Somehow, why you want money from the government? So she said, oh, the government is giving us money because of all the hard work we did many years ago, So for all the hard work we did, they're giving it to us now. I said, okay because I want to keep some peace in the house. I don't want to argue with the wife. So normally whatever she says, I say, yeah, okay, betul. And then the argument is dropped. If I want to challenge her, the argument will go on. Just go on till next day or maybe next week. Now, I already mentioned about insurance policies for policy holders up to 31st December. You can, but by the way, you need to visit your insurance company. This is not automatic. If you want to do any extension, any renegotiation of your premiums, please go and consult your agent. So very quickly, I'm going to show you all the slides. Applications for the BPN, you go to your Hasil website and go to your BPN. Now, I found out something interesting. If you are 21 years and above, and you are working part-time, and you are actually paying taxes, you are eligible for the Bantuan Prihatin. But if you're above 21, you are not working, and you're a full-time student, sorry, that means Bapak bayar kah, Ibu bayar kah, sorry, nothing, you can't apply. Especially this is going by household income. You can appeal. For your information, I retired about 2 years ago. I don't have a regular job. I do part-time training, yes. So I applied lah to see whether the government will give me some money. I cannot reject. I cannot reject because Lembaga Hasil checks my tax returns for 2018. 2018, I was still working. So they are smart, huh? They don't check 2019. 2019, I haven't filed yet. So 2018, I was working. They said, okay, this guy greedy, trying to get money. Sorry, reject. Okay, finish up. So your family must be registered under the Bantuan Saran Hidup or Lembaga Hasil website. Please go and do more research on that. So the government is giving incentives. Now I'm telling you, they are giving it to you whether you want to use it or not is entirely your decision. You must make sure you get the full benefit out of it. Now coming into a slightly different area, I want to prepare you for real life. This is real life. I can tell you, look, everything's going to be fine after December. You're going to be very happy with the industry. I'm very, very sorry. This was published by, I forget which particular source. But I've just classified this into three different risk groups. High risk is definitely gaming. You know, Genting is still shut down. You can go to Genting, you can't do anything there. Gaming, automotive. I think the car market really, really took a beating. Yeah, and then medium risk beverages, chemicals. Lot of manufacturing companies are just slowly waking up. Service industry. I'm not sure what kind of service industry you're talking about, but if we're talking about hotels, very, very bad. Low risk is here. Now, speaking of pharma is like, if any one of you is looking at the stock market, the best performing stocks are like RubberX, they got Top Glove and Carex and CarePlus. These are all rubber glove manufacturers in the, what do you call this, chemical line. They are doing for a lot of export businesses. They're very good. Air Asia, I put it here because they say now everybody can fly. I'm not sure if they're going to fly or not. All I know is they're going to fly local sectors, and even then, understand this, they got to keep social distancing. I don't know, maybe one plane can take 200 people, they're only going to put 80 people inside. When you load a plane with 80 people, whether it's going to be cost effective to fly the plane, God only knows. You can't even cover the cost. Maybe you can recover some cost because otherwise the plane is just sitting there in the airport. At least you fly the fella, the planes are making a little bit of money. So look at this area. If you are in this area, um, well, I will not say worry. I'm just saying prepare. How to prepare? I'm going to give you some ideas. These are just my ideas. Keep some emergency fund for anything that can go wrong. It's good to have an emergency fund. I want to give a very quick example. I know one poor family. I think it was in Sungai Bakap or someplace. Somebody died in the house, and a simple funeral will cost you like $3,000, $4,000. Indian family, $3,000 they did not have. And the fellow died. They had to take the body and send to a mortuary and then do some burial. No money. At least keep some $5,000 for any emergency because otherwise you have to go and borrow from people. And right now, everybody is not going to give you money because times are hard. Keep aside an emergency fund for anything that you may want. Try to use the debt snowball strategy. Take the money from the moratorium and use it to pay off all the loans that you have been saying, one day I will pay. Nanti kelak saya akan bayar. Nanti, nanti. It never happens. Pay it off. Prioritize your spending. I'm not saying be a good fellow. Buy what is necessary. Don't come and say, oh, I got no money, don't buy rice. No, lad. Rice is necessity. Maybe you can go and change your Astro package. You got the full package, $280 a month or something. So why I want so many channels for? Go and change it. See where you can cut costs, what is not necessary. It's a good time. It's a good time for to sit down and look at your budget and your spending and decide what you want to do going forward. And that's what I said. Make a budget and stick with it. Many people make a budget and they go and file it somewhere. Lupa. Simpan mana tak tahu. You know, make a budget, stick with it. Now, this is a very difficult job to do. Target your saving. Okay, when you get your salary, tell yourself, I am going to put aside $2,000 a month first. Take the money out, throw it into a bank that is far away from you, hide the ATM card. You know why? That is what I used to do. That ATM card I used to park it somewhere. Actually, I know where it is, but it's a bit difficult to take it. Huh? Park it somewhere. Keep your saving. The rest you can spend. And the savings just don't keep cash. Try to invest it. You know, put it in ASNB, put it in some fixed deposit, put it somewhere. Don't just keep it in cash. Risk averse. If someone comes and tells you, hey, stock market very good, all the counters went down, hello. Stock market is very volatile, very liquid, it's dangerous right now. Learn from me. There are some stocks I bought, it went up, then it went down. Now it's still down, didn't come back, you know. So now it's a bit risky. Any money you put in any stocks, any unit trust right now, right now, the moment you put, chances are it's going to go down. It's going to go down. So keep cash. Cash is king. I think you all know who said that, isn't it? Cash is king. Avoid credit card balance rollover. Pay it off. Look at your liquidity. Now, some people say, hey, buying property, very good. Lah. I know one man, one old uncle, lah, many years ago, oh, must buy property. He bought land, lah, he bought houses, lah, everything was like not so liquid. Then when he wanted the money, it's so hard to sell land and sell property, you know. Keep something in a marketable security. You want to put it in unit trust. Unit trust, one thing is good. Anytime you want to sell, you can sell. Maybe you'll make a loss out of it, but it's fine. Don't lend money. Right now, you're going to have a lot of people coming and telling, hey, boss, susah lah, business suma susah, I got no money, please lend me money. I'm your old friend, hello. You can give the money, but don't expect it back. Then don't come and say, hey, utang me. So chances are it won't come back because money is very, very hard to get back nowadays. And finally, if you can, there are people who are suffering out there. The people are not so lucky as we are, right? Do some small charity, do some small service if you can. It's good for the human spirit. Finally, your thoughts on this. Very briefly, take the moratorium or not. Do you want to use loan snowballing? Up to you. Look at the EPF reprieve. Are you willing to forego future savings by taking the money out now? Up to you. All this is basically for you to look into. Exposed sectors, just be cautious. If you're in a particular sector that is a bit shaky right now, just be prepared. Okay, you may need some money on the sides. Prepare to convert your funds into a more liquid scope. Try to settle your car loan, because when you don't pay for your car, they tarik balik your car, you know. I don't know whether you all know about this. And if you're a family person, you need to move your family around. The fella come and take back your car. Very hard. Very hard. You know, certain things you have to prioritize. This is my recommendation for you. Look for an umbrella. Look ahead and plan. Finally, I say. Don't look for an umbrella only when it starts raining. It happened to me. I went to Jasco one day. I got no umbrella. It was fine. When I came out, it was raining. So I went to Mr. DIY and I bought an umbrella. And the joke is this. The joke is that I never learned from that. It happened about 3 or 4 times, and I finally ended up buying about 3 or 4 umbrellas from Mr. DIY. They're all sitting in my car because I'm bodo. I don't want to learn, you know. Each time I go to the supermarket, I don't take umbrella thinking, no, it's not going to rain. And then it rains. And finally, this is the end of my slide. And I hope I've been able to teach you all something new today. I just want to share with you my thoughts. As I said, my numbers are all based on simulation. They are done to the best of my knowledge. And once again, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to Dato, Humanology, CBMRA, and my good friend who is behind the scene handling the audio and visual, Dr. Vincent. Dr. Vincent, say something.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Shankar.
Okay, so yes, so
Thank
if
you
there are any
very much.
questions, if there are any questions, I might be able to help you. Please shoot the questions to me now.
Okay, but just let me do some of the summary. So it's very interesting, and it's quite sad to hear the reality. I would say it's really sad to hear the reality, but we need to face it regardless how. That is the thing that we have to go through. So it is really sad to hear that. So, but however, I totally agree that we have to get ready with all this uncertainties that could happen anytime to anybody, regardless how it is. For example, yesterday there was one person who called me for asked me for the reduction of the what is it called, renter, because he owns 6 optical shops. These are real things, yeah, just to share with you. So he owns 6 optical shop, and because, as you know, that all the optical shop is a close contact, so the number of business reduced a lot until he's not able to pay the rental. So, and now he diversified to sell sanitizer. Can you imagine that? So you must be flexible, you must be ready to change. If your attitude and behavior just stay there, okay, so let the flow, so by the end of it, you would be wiped up. Not only that, very interesting thing is that, so recently I also encountered some of the very interesting attitudes and behavior of people. So one of the person that a lot of companies already start working. So however, there's one interesting case that I encountered, which is the they mentioned, you know, the staff tell the boss, now I'm outstation, you know, so I'm not able to start the work. The question is that, okay, when I chat with the I did chat with the Touch and Go company, Plus, and also PDRM. So you are able to selundup balik. So don't tell me that you're not able to selundup keluar. So, and then with this situation, they are still acting like this. It shows that they do not appreciate, they are not appreciative at all. So this is the real scenario. Please, I think that everybody, please learn to how you should appreciate your whatever that you have. At the same time, for financial wise, so please do a right and also smart strategy of it. So I pass back to Dr. Vincent to close the session. Thank you very much for those participating, and also I hope you see you on Monday, next Monday. So for the next session at the same time. So again, please join our the what is that called? The Telegram. At the same time, just a very fast announcement on behalf of CBMRA. CBMRA is ready with the online learning. Not only that, they know that a lot of people might lose their job, so that's why they have a few certified program to help for those got retrenched, so they will be able to generate some income by diversify yourself. So stay tuned with us. So with this, I pass back to Dr. Vincent. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shankar. Thank you, Doctor. Any questions from anyone? Okay, so I assume there's no questions. Okay, if there's no questions, stay tuned to our next webinar on Monday and Tuesday, and we will and depending also as well on the MCO whether it will be lifted or not, because I think these 2 days there will be an announcement by the DG of MOH. Okay, so remember to join our Telegram group as well as our Facebook page, CBMI.
This is a very fast revision when I talk to a group of the health professional. Remember, whatever statistic that you see now, yeah, is actually the result of what happened 2 days, not 2 days, 2 weeks back actually. If let's say a person got COVID now, so the result will be out. You can see the symptoms, and also the result will be out by the not now, maybe next week or next 2 weeks. So that's why what we could see now is actually is what the result during MCO. So please take care of yourself, and also make sure you do all the necessary steps to protect yourself. And also I did see the comment from one of the specialists of ENT. He mentioned that, is it necessary to do the COVID? The question posed to in his own Facebook. So he mentioned that whatever, if it's not necessary, it's actually no need to do any COVID test. The reason why, because if you do it now, is actually once you finish the test, when you walk out the road, so you might be infected also. So if you have no symptom, you have nothing, so it is not necessary for you to do the swab, because doing the swab is not of course you'll feel uncomfortable in certain extent. So but I still hope that, remember, stay safe, stay at home, and if not necessary, just do whatever online. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Don't worry about the slides. Don't worry about the videos because it will all be hosted on YouTube, Facebook, as well as our Telegram group. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you soon on Monday and as well as Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for staying. Okay, have a great weekend. Have a nice day. Bye bye.